Captain Tom Hayes stepped off his transport ship onto the metal floors of Station Omega-7. The huge trading station normally buzzed with activity from hundreds of different alien species. Today, it felt like a ghost town. Tom looked around the empty corridors. Only a few scattered aliens moved quickly through the halls, their eyes darting nervously. The usual crowds of merchants, travelers, and diplomats were nowhere to be seen. Something was very wrong here. He walked toward the information desk where a blue-skinned Valerian clerk sat behind protective glass. The alien's 6 arms moved rapidly across multiple computer screens. "Excuse me," Tom said. "Where is everyone? This place is usually packed." The Valerian looked up with his large, dark eyes. "You must be new here, human. Did you not receive the warnings? Princess Vera arrives today." Tom raised an eyebrow. "Princess Vera? Never heard of her. What's the big deal about one princess?" The clerk's face went pale blue, which Tom knew meant extreme fear in Valerians. "She is the princess of the crystalline worlds. Her presence brings terror to all who come near. We have been evacuating for 2 days." "Terror? What do you mean?" The Valerian's hands shook as he pulled up files on his screen. "Princess Vera has a curse, human. Her mind projects fear into all living beings within a great distance. No one can control it. Not even she can stop it. For 300 years, she has lived alone because her very existence drives others mad with terror." Tom studied the information on the screen. Reports from dozens of worlds all told the same story. Entire populations fled when Princess Vera visited their planets. Space stations closed down. Trade routes got abandoned. Even the most powerful alien kings refused to meet with her. "That's terrible," Tom said. "She must be so lonely." "Lonely?" The clerk stared at Tom in shock. "Human, you do not understand. She is the most dangerous being in this sector of space. The Rigel Empire abandoned 3 entire star systems because she spent 1 week visiting there. The Aquarian Federation made it illegal for her to enter their space. She travels alone in a single ship because no crew can survive her presence." Tom felt sorry for this princess he had never met. "So she's completely isolated?" "Yes. And now she comes here. We must finish evacuating immediately." The clerk began shutting down his computers. "Wait," Tom said. "Why haven't I heard of her before? Humans have been trading in this sector for 50 years. "Because humans are strange," the Valerian replied. "Your species shows up everywhere, talks to everyone, fears nothing. Most of us assumed you simply avoided her like everyone else." Tom thought about this. Humans did have a reputation for being unusually brave or perhaps unusually stupid. They went places other species wouldn't dare. They made friends with creatures others found terrifying. Maybe there was more to this story. "Where is she now?" Tom asked. The clerk pointed to his screen. "Her ship was supposed to dock here today, but something went wrong. We lost her signal in the Castor asteroid field 3 hours ago." "The asteroid field? That place is full of magnetic storms and space rocks. If her ship is damaged out there, she'll die." "Perhaps," the clerk said quietly. "Many would say that would solve a great problem." Tom felt angry at that comment. "She's just a person who needs help. She is death itself, human. Stay away from that area if you value your life." The Valerian finished packing his belongings and hurried away. Tom walked through the empty station, thinking. He stopped at a communication terminal and tried to contact Princess Vera's ship. Only static came through the speakers. He checked the emergency frequencies. Nothing. In the distance, he heard the last transport ships leaving the station. Soon he would be completely alone here. Tom made his decision. He headed back to his ship. His vessel, the Earth Runner, was a small but tough exploration craft. Tom had modified it himself for long-distance travel and emergency rescues. If someone was trapped in that asteroid field, he could probably reach them. As he prepared for launch, Tom tried to understand what he was getting into. Every report said that Princess Vera's presence caused overwhelming terror in other beings. But humans had always been different. They seemed immune to many psychic effects that worked on other species. Maybe, just maybe, he could help her. Tom launched his ship and set course for the asteroid field. The journey took 2 hours through normal space. As he approached the field's edge, he activated his sensors and began scanning for any signs of a ship. The asteroids floated like giant stone islands in the darkness. Magnetic storms crackled between them, making sensor readings difficult. Tom piloted carefully through the maze of rocks, calling out on all frequencies. Princess Vera, this is Captain Tom Hayes of the Earth Runner. Please respond if you can hear this message. For 30 minutes, he searched without success. Then his sensors picked up a faint energy signature near the field center. Tom turned his ship toward the signal. There, hidden behind a massive asteroid, was a beautiful crystalline ship. Its surface seemed to be made of living crystal that glowed with soft blue light. But the glow was fading. The ship was clearly in trouble. Princess Vera, I can see your ship. Are you all right? A voice came through his radio, clear and musical but filled with surprise. Who is this? How can you be here? You should run away immediately. My name is Tom Hayes. I'm human. I received your distress signal and came to help. There was a long pause. Then, human. That explains it. But you must leave at once. I cannot control what I am. You will be consumed by terror if you come closer. I'm not feeling any terror, Tom said honestly. Just concern for someone who might need help. What's wrong with your ship? Another pause, longer this time. My crystal power core has been damaged by the magnetic storms. I am losing life support. But please, you must not attempt to rescue me. For 3 centuries, no being has been able to approach me without falling into madness from fear. Tom checked his own readings. Her ship was definitely dying. How much time do you have? Perhaps 6 hours before complete system failure. That's plenty of time. I'm coming alongside your ship now. No. Princess Vera's voice was urgent. You do not understand. I have tried to warn you. My mind projects fear into all living creatures. I cannot stop it. It happens automatically. Everyone who comes near me experiences pure terror. Some have died from the shock. Tom brought his ship closer to hers. Still no fear, no strange sensations. Princess, I'm right next to your ship now. I feel perfectly normal. Silence filled the radio. Then, in a whisper, impossible. Can you open your docking port? I'll come aboard and help repair your ship. I have not spoken to another living being face to face in over 100 years, Princess Vera said quietly. Are you certain you feel no fear? I'm sure. Humans might be immune to your effect. We're immune to lots of psychic phenomena that affect other species. This changes everything, she whispered. Yes, I am opening my docking port now. But please be careful. What if your immunity fails? Tom maneuvered his ship to connect with hers. The docking process went smoothly. He put on his environment suit, just in case her atmosphere was different, and walked through the airlock into her ship. The inside of the crystalline vessel was the most beautiful thing Tom had ever seen. The walls glowed softly with natural light from the living crystal. Everything seemed to grow rather than be built. It was like walking inside a giant gem. Princess Vera stood in the main corridor, waiting for him. Tom stopped and stared. She was indeed beautiful, with pale skin that seemed to glow like her ship, silver hair that moved like it was underwater, and large eyes that held centuries of loneliness. But what struck him most was not her beauty. It was the expression of absolute wonder on her face. "You are really here," she said, her voice full of amazement. "You are standing in my presence and you are not screaming in terror." "Should I be?" Tom asked with a small smile. Princess Vera laughed, and it was the sound of crystal bells. I had forgotten what laughter felt like. For 300 years, I have lived with only the sound of my own voice. Every person who sees me either runs away immediately or collapses in fear. That must be incredibly lonely. Tears formed in her eyes. Lonely beyond anything you could imagine. I am the most feared being in known space, not because I choose to be, but because I cannot help what I am. Tom felt deep sympathy for her situation. "Well, you're not alone right now. Let's fix your ship and get you somewhere safe." "Safe?" Princess Vera shook her head sadly. "There is no safe place for me. Every world I visit becomes empty. Every space station evacuates. I am eternally alone." "Maybe not anymore," Tom said. "If humans are immune to your effect, that changes things. But first, let's worry about keeping you alive. Where's your power core?" Princess Vera led him deeper into the ship, and for the first time in 3 centuries, she was not walking alone. Princess Vera guided Tom through the crystal corridors of her ship. The walls pulsed with soft blue light, responding to her presence. Tom had never seen technology like this before. "Your ship is amazing," Tom said as they walked. "I've never seen living crystal used this way." "It was grown rather than built," Princess Vera explained. "My people have a deep connection with crystal structures. This ship is actually alive in a way. It responds to my thoughts and emotions." They reached the power core chamber. The room's center held a massive crystal formation that normally would have blazed with bright energy. Now it flickered weakly, with dark cracks running through its surface. "The magnetic storms damaged the crystal matrix," Princess Vera said sadly. "Without this core, life support will fail. But I cannot repair it alone." Tom examined the crystal carefully. His engineering training helped him understand the basic problem. "The cracks have disrupted the energy flow. If we can realign the crystal structure, it might heal itself." "You understand crystal technology?" Princess Vera asked with surprise. "Basic principles, yes. Humans have been studying crystal formations for decades. We use them in our computer systems." Tom pointed to several stress points in the formation. "We need to apply pressure at these exact locations while feeding energy back into the matrix." Princess Vera nodded. "I can channel energy directly from my mind into the crystal. But someone needs to hold the fracture point steady." They worked together for the next hour. Tom carefully positioned his hands on the crystal while Princess Vera focused her mental energy into the core. Slowly, the cracks began to close. The crystal's glow grew stronger. "It's working," Tom said. "Your people's technology is incredible." "My people fear me just like everyone else," Princess Vera said quietly as she concentrated. "I have not been home in 2 centuries. That's terrible. Family should accept you no matter what." The crystal suddenly flared with brilliant light. The ship's systems hummed back to life. Princess Vera stepped back, looking exhausted but relieved. "We did it," she said with a smile. "Thank you, Tom Hayes. You have saved my life. Just glad I could help." Tom checked the ship's status displays. "Your life support is back to full power. You're safe now." Princess Vera's expression grew sad again. "Safe until I reach the next location and everyone runs away again. Safety is temporary for someone like me." Before Tom could respond, alarms began blaring throughout the ship. Red lights flashed on every surface. Princess Vera rushed to the main control panel. "What's happening?" Tom asked. "Ship's approaching fast," Princess Vera said, her voice tight with fear. "Many ships. Military formation. Tom looked at the sensor readings. 12 large vessels were moving toward them from the edge of the asteroid field. Those are Scorian Armada ships. What do they want with you? Princess Vera's face went pale. The Scorians have been hunting me for years. They want to capture me and use my abilities as a weapon. They believe they can control my fear projection and turn it against their enemies. That's horrible. If they succeed, they could terrorize entire worlds into surrender without firing a shot. I have spent decades avoiding them. Princess Vera's hands moved quickly over her ship's controls. We must run immediately. Tom watched the approaching ships on the sensors. Those are fast attack vessels. Can your ship outrun them? Normally yes, but the crystal core is still healing. I cannot push it to full power yet. The first Scorian ships entered weapon range. Energy blasts lit up space around Princess Vera's ship. She piloted skillfully between the asteroids, using them as cover. Follow me to my ship, Tom said. The Earth Runner is small but fast. We can escape together. They ran through the corridors toward Tom's docked ship. More explosions shook the crystal vessel. Cracks appeared in the walls from the weapon impacts. They are trying to disable my ship without destroying it, Princess Vera said as they reached the airlock. They want to capture me alive. Tom helped her onto his ship and quickly sealed the connection. We're leaving now. He fired up the Earth Runner's engines and pulled away from Princess Vera's damaged vessel. The Scorian ships immediately turned their attention to his smaller craft. There are too many of them, Princess Vera said, watching the pursuit on Tom's sensors. We cannot outrun 12 ships. Tom gripped his ship's controls tighter. Maybe not, but we can try. He dove deeper into the asteroid field, using every rock and magnetic storm as cover. The Scorians followed, firing constantly. Their energy beams lit up the darkness between the asteroids. Tom, Princess Vera said suddenly. I have an idea. But it requires me to do something I have never tried before. What? I have always broadcast my fear effect randomly in all directions. But what if I could focus it? Direct it like a weapon toward specific targets? Tom's eyes widened. You mean use your abilities against the Scorians? I do not know if it will work. I have never had anyone to help me experiment safely before. Princess Vera looked at him hopefully. But with you here, someone immune to my effect, maybe I can learn control. It's worth trying. Princess Vera closed her eyes and concentrated. Tom felt nothing, but he could see on his sensors that something was happening. The closest Scorian ship suddenly stopped firing and began drifting. Their crew is paralyzed with terror, Princess Vera said with amazement. I can actually aim this ability. She focused on the next ship. Within seconds, it too stopped its attack and fell behind. But the effort was clearly draining her. I cannot maintain this for long, she said, breathing heavily. There are too many ships. Tom pushed his engines to maximum power. You've bought us time. That's enough. They escaped deeper into the asteroid field, but Tom knew they couldn't hide forever. The Scorians would keep hunting until they found them. We need a plan, Tom said. Somewhere to go where we'll be safe. There is nowhere safe for me, Princess Vera replied sadly. The Scorians have been tracking me across the galaxy for years. They will never give up. Tom thought quickly. What about the planet Refuge? It's in neutral space. No military vessels are allowed there. The Scorians do not respect neutral territory. Maybe not, but it's populated by refugees from dozens of wars. Tough people who know how to fight. And humans have a settlement there. If we can reach other humans. Princess Vera's eyes lit up with hope. Other humans who might be immune like you. Exactly. You wouldn't have to be alone anymore. Tom set course for Refuge, but their escape was short-lived. More Scorian ships appeared ahead of them, cutting off their route. They were surrounded. "Surrender the princess," came a harsh voice over the radio. "You cannot escape, human. Give her to us and we will let you live." Tom ignored the demand. "Princess, can you use your abilities on all of them at once?" "I can try." Princess Vera concentrated harder than before. Her face grew pale with effort. Several Scorian ships stopped moving, but others continued their attack. Energy blasts hammered Tom's ship. His shields failed and alarms screamed warnings. "Hull breach in Section 3, Tom reported. We're losing atmosphere." Princess Vera opened her eyes, sweat beading on her forehead. "I cannot affect them all. Some of their crew must have mental shielding." Tom's ship shuddered under more impacts. The engines began making dangerous sounds. "We're not going to make it to refuge." He saw a planet on his sensors, much closer than their original destination. "There, that world. It's our only chance." "That is Kepler 7, Princess Vera said with alarm. "It's a hostile environment. Poisonous atmosphere, dangerous creatures. Better than being captured." Tom aimed his damaged ship toward the planet's surface. The Scorians followed, still firing. The Earthrunner's hull glowed red-hot as they entered the atmosphere. "Hang on," Tom warned. "This is going to be rough." The ship bucked and rolled through the thick, toxic air. Tom fought to maintain control as systems failed around them. The ground rushed up toward them fast. "There, that clearing," Princess Vera pointed to an open area between twisted alien trees. Tom fired his landing thrusters, but they were too weak. The ship hit hard and skidded across rocky ground before coming to rest against a large boulder. Smoke filled the cabin. Warning lights flashed everywhere. Tom checked Princess Vera quickly. "Are you hurt?" "I am fine," she said, though she looked shaken. "Your ship?" Tom examined the damage reports. "The Earthrunner is finished. We're stuck here." Through the cracked windows, they could see Scorian ships landing nearby. Armored soldiers were already emerging from the vessels. "They followed us down," Tom said grimly. "We need to find cover fast." Princess Vera looked at the hostile alien landscape around them. "We are trapped on a poisonous world with creatures that kill for sport, hunted by an entire army." Tom grabbed emergency supplies and weapons from his ship's storage. "At least we're together. You're not facing this alone anymore." For the first time in centuries, Princess Vera smiled with genuine hope. "Yes. We face this together." They ran from the crashed ship toward the dark alien forest, while behind them, Scorian soldiers began their pursuit. Tom and Princess Vera ran through the twisted alien forest of Kepler 7. The trees looked like black metal sculptures reaching toward a sickly green sky. The air tasted bitter through their emergency breathing masks. Behind them, they could hear Scorian soldiers crashing through the undergrowth. The aliens were shouting commands to each other in their harsh language. "This way," Tom whispered, leading Princess Vera toward a cluster of large rocks. "We need to find cover and figure out our next move." They crouched behind the stone formation. Tom checked his equipment while Princess Vera tried to catch her breath. "There are at least 20 soldiers," she said quietly. "Even with my abilities, I cannot affect them all. Some wear mental shields." Tom studied the terrain around them. "How many can you affect at once without the shields?" "Perhaps 6 or 7 before I become too exhausted to continue." "That's not enough." Tom thought for a moment. "Princess, you said you've never been able to control your fear projection before today. But when we were fighting in space, you focused it perfectly on individual ships." Princess Vera nodded. "Yes, but that took enormous concentration. And I could only hold it for short periods. What if I could teach you better control? Humans have techniques for managing stress and focusing mental energy. Maybe they would work for you too. You think human methods could help me control something I have struggled with for 3 centuries? It's worth trying. Tom moved closer to her. First, we need to work on your breathing. When humans feel overwhelmed, we use controlled breathing to calm our minds. The sound of Scorian voices grew louder. They were getting closer. We do not have time for lessons, Princess Vera whispered urgently. We have to make time. Listen, breathe in slowly while I count to 4. Tom demonstrated the technique. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now hold it for 4 counts. Then breathe out slowly for 4 counts. Princess Vera followed his instructions. As her breathing became more regular, Tom could see her muscles relaxing. Good. Now, humans also use something called visualization. Picture your fear ability like a beam of light that you can aim precisely. Don't think of it as a wild force. Think of it as a tool you can control. Princess Vera closed her eyes and concentrated. I can see it. Like a focused beam instead of an explosion. Perfect. Now practice moving that beam. Point it at different targets in your mind. While Princess Vera practiced the mental exercises, Tom prepared their defenses. He set up small explosives from his emergency kit around their hiding place. If the Scorians found them, at least they could create some confusion. A branch snapped nearby. Tom peeked around the rocks and saw 2 Scorian soldiers moving carefully through the trees. They wore dark armor and carried energy weapons. 2 targets approaching from the east, Tom whispered. Can you hit them both? Princess Vera opened her eyes and looked toward the soldiers. She took a deep breath using Tom's technique, then focused intently. The 2 Scorians suddenly stopped moving. Their weapons fell from their hands as they collapsed to the ground, overwhelmed by terror. It worked, Princess Vera whispered with amazement. I could control exactly where the fear went. And you don't look nearly as tired as before, Tom observed. More soldiers appeared from different directions. Tom could count at least 8 of them surrounding their position. Too many for a direct approach, Tom said. We need a different strategy. Princess Vera was studying the soldiers carefully. 3 of them were the silver helmets. Those provide mental shielding. But 5 have no protection. Can you affect the unprotected ones while I deal with the shielded soldiers? I think so. Princess Vera closed her eyes again and used the breathing technique Tom had taught her. But I need you to tell me when to strike. Tom watched the soldiers move closer. They were trying to surround the rock formation from all sides. On my signal, Tom whispered. 3, 2, 1, now. Princess Vera focused her ability on the 5 unshielded Scorians. All of them immediately dropped their weapons and fell to the ground in paralyzing fear. At the same moment, Tom triggered his explosive devices. The blasts created smoke and confusion. Tom jumped out from behind the rocks and attacked the 3 remaining soldiers while they were distracted. His combat training helped him move quickly between them. The first soldier turned toward the sound of Tom's approach, but Tom was already behind him. A quick strike to the nerve cluster at the base of the alien's neck dropped him unconscious. The second soldier raised his weapon, but Tom rolled aside and came up swinging his emergency tool like a club. The improvised weapon connected with the Scorian's wrist, making him drop his gun. The third soldier tried to call for backup on his radio, but Princess Vera had recovered enough to project a focused fear beam directly at him. The alien froze in terror, unable to complete his message. Tom quickly collected the Scorian weapons and communication devices. That was incredible. You controlled your ability perfectly. Princess Vera smiled, but she looked thoughtful. The human techniques work because they help me stay calm. When I am panicked, my abilities go wild. When I am calm, I can aim them precisely. That makes sense. Humans have known for centuries that emotional control improves performance. They heard more ships landing in the distance. The main Scorian force was arriving. We cannot fight an entire army, Princess Vera said. Tom examined one of the captured communication devices. Maybe we don't have to. Look at this. He showed her the radio. It was receiving messages from the Scorian command ship in orbit. They're coordinating all their forces through this communication network, Tom explained. If we could broadcast your fear projection through their radio system. Princess Vera's eyes widened with understanding. I could affect every Scorian soldier on the planet at once. Exactly. Can you project your ability through electronic devices? I have never tried, but my people's technology responds to mental energy. Perhaps alien technology could work the same way. Tom studied the Scorian radio equipment. Their communication system uses psychic amplifiers to boost signals across long distances. If you could tap into those amplifiers, I could reach every soldier simultaneously. Princess Vera took the radio device and held it carefully. But this is dangerous. If I lose control, I might affect friendly ships in orbit too. Use the breathing technique. Stay calm and focused. Princess Vera nodded and closed her eyes. She placed her hands on the communication device and began to concentrate. Tom watched the radio's displays as strange energy patterns flickered across them. It's working, Tom said quietly. I can see your mental energy interfacing with their equipment. The radio crackled to life with panicked voices speaking in the Scorian language. Tom didn't understand the words, but the tone was unmistakable. Pure terror. Every soldier on the planet is receiving my fear projection, Princess Vera said, her voice strained with effort. They are all paralyzed. Through the forest, they could hear the sounds of confusion and panic. Soldiers were abandoning their equipment and running back toward their ships. Princess Vera maintained her projection for several more minutes. Then she opened her eyes and released the radio device. They are fleeing, she said with exhaustion but also satisfaction. The entire Scorian force is retreating to orbit. Tom checked his scanner. Sure enough, the enemy ships were launching and moving away from the planet. You did it. You turned your curse into a weapon for defense instead of just random fear. Princess Vera stood up slowly, still tired from the mental effort. I could never have learned this control without your help. Human techniques for managing emotions and mental energy are remarkably effective. Tom helped her walk toward where his ship had crashed. The Earth Runner is still broken, but we can send a distress signal now that the Scorians are gone. Tom, Princess Vera said as they walked. What you have taught me today could help others like me. There are beings across the galaxy with psychic abilities they cannot control. They live in isolation just as I did. You want to teach them what you learned? Yes. And humans could help. Your species seems naturally gifted at emotional control and mental discipline. You could be teachers. Tom smiled at the idea. A training academy where humans help psychic beings learn to control their abilities? Exactly. No more beings forced into isolation because they cannot manage their gifts. No more planets evacuated because someone arrives who radiates uncontrolled power. They reached Tom's crashed ship. The communication system was still functional. Tom sent out a rescue signal on all emergency frequencies. This is Captain Tom Hayes requesting assistance on Kepler 7. 2 survivors need immediate pickup. The response came quickly from a human merchant vessel. Earth Runner, this is the cargo ship New Horizon. We received your signal. Are you in immediate danger? Negative, New Horizon. The danger has passed. But we have a passenger who will need special consideration during transport. Princess Vera looked at Tom with confusion. Special consideration? I'm going to explain to them that you're perfectly safe to be around if they're human. But they should probably warn any non-human crew members. Princess Vera laughed, the sound like crystal bells ringing. After 3 centuries of absolute isolation, I will be traveling on a ship with multiple humans. This will be a wonderful new experience. The rescue ship arrived 2 hours later. As Tom had predicted, the human crew felt no fear around Princess Vera. She spent the entire journey to the nearest space station talking with people, something she had not done in centuries. 3 months later, Tom and Princess Vera established the first Galactic Academy for Psychic Control on the neutral world of Haven. Human instructors taught meditation, breathing techniques, and mental discipline to beings from across the galaxy who had been cursed with uncontrolled psychic abilities. Princess Vera became the Academy's first graduate and most skilled teacher. Her fear projection, once a curse that isolated her, became a precisely controlled tool she used to help others overcome their own fears. The Academy's success spread quickly through galactic society. Worlds that had been abandoned because of dangerous psychic phenomena were resettled. Beings who had lived in exile for centuries returned to their families. The Scorian Armada never bothered Princess Vera again. Word had spread that she could now weaponize her abilities with deadly precision when threatened. More importantly, she was no longer alone. An entire academy of humans and reformed psychic beings stood ready to defend her. Tom often watched Princess Vera teaching new students and smiled. Humanity's greatest gift to the galaxy was not their immunity to psychic powers. It was their ability to help others overcome fear and find control over abilities that had once seemed like curses. In helping Princess Vera master her power, they had discovered something much more valuable. They had found a way to transform isolation into community, curses into gifts, and fear into hope.